Hello friends, welcome to Data Science Lovers. In this video, we will see how we can fill the missing or null values in the columns of a data frame. Here we have a data frame. In this data frame, we have categorical as well as numerical values. And in these numerical columns, we have missing values in them. Let's see how many numerical columns are there using the info function. Here, these columns where the data type is float are considered as numerical columns. Total, we have 6 numerical columns in this data frame. Now we will check how many missing values or null values present in these columns. For this, we will simply use the isNull function and sum function on this. So it is showing that in temperature column we have 13, dew point 18 and so on. Now we have to fill these missing values. We can fill these values by mean or median, or you can say variance, standard deviation of the numerical columns. For our reference, let's see those records where we have missing values. And to see those records, we can write data dot isNull function, and here we will use function which is known as any. Any function means it will show all those records where we have even a single value missing. Okay, and we will pass here x is equal to 1. When I will run this, it will show the result in boolean. To get the result in desired format, as you all know, we have to pass this command in square brackets. Okay, so these are the records where we have missing values in the columns. There are total 75 records. Here where we have the NaN means not a number, then it means the value is missing here. You can see in these columns there are not a number. Okay, now we have to fill these missing values. There are various methods to fill the values. Let's see each method one by one. Here you have to notice one thing, that we are using the reference data set only. Okay, and in this we will take this row where the index number is 42 as our reference to check the values after filling the missing values. Let's start with filling the missing values with the mean of the column. So let's have a look at our data frame. This is our data frame, and first of all we will check how many missing values in each column, again using this syntax. So we will start with the temperature column. Here we have 13 missing values and we have to fill with the mean of the column. So we will take out the mean of temperature column and we will fill that mean where we don't have any value in this column. So let's check the mean of this column. Here it is showing that the mean of temperature column is about 8.8. Now to fill the missing value, we have a function known as fillNA function. I will consider this column temperature. On this column we have to use the fillNA function like this, fillNA. Inside this function we have to pass the value or parameter that we want to enter. I want to enter the mean of this column, so I can simply copy this and paste here. Okay, like this. When I will run this, the command has been executed, and to make the changes permanently we can use another parameter in place equal to true. Okay, now all the missing values of this temperature column are filled with the mean of this column. We can check again the count of missing values. Here it is showing that the temperature column has 0 null values. We can also run the command to show the records where we have the null values. I will copy this and paste here. Okay, suppose let's see top 60. Here you can see that earlier, before filling the values, at index number 42 in temperature column we had not a number. Okay, the value was missing, but after filling the value with mean of this column, it is showing 8.8, while the values for other columns are still missing because we haven't applied any function on these columns. We have considered only temperature column as of now. And also, if we check here, the index number 79, the temperature was missing, and now we check here at index number 79, the value is 8.8, which is the filled mean value of this column. So that's how we can easily fill the missing values of any numerical column using fill NA function. Now let's move forward and we will fill the missing value of our second column. You can say dew point temperature column with the standard deviation of this particular column. Let's have a look at our data frame again. This time we have to consider this dew point temperature column, and we will check again the count of null values for our reference only. Here in dew point temperature column we have 18 null values. We will fill these null values with the standard deviation of this particular column. First of all, we have to consider this column. On this column we have to apply the fill NA function, and inside the function we have to pass the standard deviation of this column. Let's first check the standard deviation. What is the standard deviation of this column? Using the std function. Okay, it is showing that the standard deviation is 10.8. So we can fill this standard deviation here inside this function, and to make the changes we can pass also in place equal to true. The command has been executed. Now let's check the count of missing value again. Then it is showing in dew point temperature column there is no missing value. All the missing values are filled with the standard deviation of this column. To cross check again, we can simply copy this command again and paste here. Okay, I am removing this head function. So if we see above, before filling the missing values with standard deviation at index number 42 in dew point temperature we had a missing value NaN. Now after filling with standard deviation we have the value 10.87. okay, means the values are filled now. Let's move to our next column. Our next column is relative humidity. Here we have 17 null values, and this time we will fill these values with the maximum value of this column. Let's see. So we are going to fill with the maximum value of this column. Data frame for our reference, we have to consider relative humidity column. Let's first check the maximum value of this column. What is the maximum value? Using the max function. Here it is showing 100. Let's fill the values. So we will consider this column relative humidity. On this column we have to apply fill NA function. Inside this function we have to consider the maximum value. Okay, there are two ways. You can simply copy and paste here, or you can save this in a variable, suppose x, and we can simply pass now x here. Okay, like this, and at last we have to write in place equal to true. Now the command has been executed, and if we check the count of the null values in the columns, then is null or some function, you can see that there is no missing value now in this relative humidity column. All the values are filled with the maximum value of this column, which is 100. We can cross check this also. If we see at index number 42 again and relative humidity column, the value was missing, but I will copy this and paste here and run this again. You can see that the value is filled with 100 now. Now we will fill the missing values of this wind speed column. Okay, and this time we will fill the minimum value of this column. We will consider this column, and let's check what is the minimum value of this column using the min function. Okay, the minimum value is 0, so all the missing values will be filled with 0 here. And again I will consider this column. On this column I will use the fill function. Inside this function I will pass this syntax, or you can simply save this in any variable. Suppose y, I will pass y here, and to make the changes permanently we have to pass in place equal to true. The command has been executed. Now if we check the count of missing value in this column, then we can see that the wind speed column have 0 missing value now. And to cross check again, here it is showing not a number. I will copy this, and after filling with minimum value we can see that the value is filled with 0. Okay, here also 0. Now we have to fill the values for this visibility column. Here the value is missing, and in this column we will use the median to fill the values. Fill with median of the column. So this is our data frame. We will consider this visibility column. I will copy this, and let's check the median of this column using the median function. And here it is showing that the median of visibility column is 25. We will fill the missing values with 25. Okay, dot fill NA, and here we can copy and paste. Okay, now as I told above that to make the changes permanently you can simply write in place equal to true. This is our one method, and the second method is you can simply put the column name in the starting like this. Means we are making changes in this particular column. And what are changes we are making? We are making these changes. Okay, when we will run this, the command has been executed, and let's check the missing value count. NA.sum. Here the visibility column has 0 null values now. To cross check it again, here at index number 42 visibility column has null value. I will copy this. I am copying and pasting this command again and again to make the video short. Otherwise you can also write this command. Now when we will run this, the value is filled with 25. Okay, now we have our last numerical column pending with the null values. Here it is showing all the records where there is a null value in the column. Okay, and there are total about, let's see the length, 14 columns. Okay, sorry, 14 rows here. Okay, so in these 14 rows we will fill the variance of this column, pressure column. Fill with variance of the column. So our data frame, we have to consider the pressure column, and let's check the missing value count first. Data dot, you can use is null like this, or you can use is NA function. Okay, any one of the function you can use. Here we have to consider pressure column where we have 14 values. So first of all we will check the variance of this column using the var function. The variance is 0.711. okay, and we will fill this, and we will use the fill NA function. Inside this function we have to copy this command, and in place equal to true. The command has been executed, and now we check the count of null values again. Then you can see there is no null value in any column now. We can cross check this again. I will simply copy this and paste here. Then it is showing no record. Okay, means there is no record now in this data frame where we have any missing value in any column. Here you have to notice one thing, that I am using randomly any measure to fill the missing values in a column. I am taking variance in any column, I am taking this median in any column, okay. But in actual it is not like that. You have to consider the importance of a particular column and the importance of the desired output from this data frame, okay. Here my aim is to tell you the concept of how to fill the missing values with different measures in a data frame. So that's all friends for this video. Kindly like this video and subscribe to our channel. If you want to watch the videos in Hindi, then you can subscribe to our other channel which is IT courses.